You're probably noticing, everybody on Instagram right now, and as we're tuning up the camera here on Facebook Live, that I'm not wearing a mask. My special guest tonight, Laura Brunetti, is not wearing a mask because now most of the people who come into the basement are fully vaccinated. So we didn't have to do the testing. We don't have to wear the mask. We're fully vaccinated. We're here in the basement, just the two of us tonight, ready to have some fun and laugh and talk about some serious subject matter.
Yes.
So let's say thank you to Laura. Thank you so much for driving up here and coming on to the show tonight. This is Laura Brunetti, who is a author and an artist. And what else did you want me to say? I forgot. I have to write it down.
A director.
A director.
A director of spiritual fulfillment.
Spiritual fulfillment.
At Monmouth Park.
At Monmouth Park. And I can't wait. We talked a little bit about this before she came down to the basement to prep me on what we're going to talk about tonight. So we got a lot of great subjects that we're going to cover for everybody who's tuning in tonight. This is going to be a little bit different. I have a funny feeling it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be funny, but we do have a serious subject matter tonight that we're going to convey to the world, or at least to the people who are watching my show. And then when we're done being with the serious subject matter, Laura, as an Italian Sicilian,
Yes.
did not come down to the basement empty-handed. She brought an incredible bottle. In fact, why don't you just tell us about this and I'll pour us 2 shots.
That'll be perfect.
Yeah.
It's actually called Averna. The recipe for Averna has been passed down. It's a Sicilian, I don't want to say liqueur, but liquor. And the recipes have been passed down for years. Traditionally, it's just poured over ice. But tonight, we're going to do it as a shot.
Oh, it's supposed to pour it over ice?
Yeah. But don't have no fear.
No, I can't. Well, you mentioned liqueur. What is the actual difference? Because I really don't know.
Well, in my mind, a liqueur is an after dinner drink, and we used to have this sometimes, with the meal. I think it can be both, but it's. I want you to taste it first, because
all right,
you know what I mean?
A liqueur is an after dinner drink, and a drink like this is something you can have with your dinner.
Yes.
Or your dessert. I thought this was something you do as a shot.
You can do that. That's why we have shot glasses.
Yeah, well, I got the shot glasses because I thought this was that type of a thing.
Yes, but I'm just.
Oh, come on. That can't be more than a shot. That's strong.
It's not that strong. It's 25. It's a 50-something% proof.
Proof. I don't know anything. I remember. I never heard the term proof since I'm in my 20s.
Yeah, since you gave your fake license.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You gave your
we had
fake
to cut it up and
take the number out.
Yes.
Change the 5 to a 6.
Yes.
The drinking age when I was a kid was actually 18.
Oh.
Were you 18 or 19?
No, mine. We had to go to New York to drink. We had to go to New York to.
So many people who are watching the show right now probably have no idea, but us New Jersey people, even Connecticut people, we had this thing where if you wanted to go drinking, you just went to the city, which is just crossing the border.
Yes.
But we never even considered it a border. We just thought it was the Lincoln Tunnel. It's actually a border.
And we didn't consider it illegal either.
No. I want to have a drink. Where you going? The city.
That's right.
Because it wasn't that.
And then in the city, they had after-hours clubs. So,
yeah.
It was the rooftop, and
this is you.
You didn't have to stop.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Just went over to the city, but I never really considered it. Oh, we got to cross the border.
Right.
We just went to the city.
The city.
And it's the funniest thing is only people from, I think, this area or the outer boroughs actually said the term, the city.
Yeah.
We never said we're going to Manhattan.
No, that's a little upscale.
Did anybody ever even say that? We're going to New York. I never said New York either. We're going to the city. You want to go to the city?
It's just like down the shore.
Yeah.
Down the shore.
We are weird. But anyway, so Laura brought over this Averna, and we're going to have, I'm not going to just shoot it.
We'll do
brutal.
a little at a time.
All right, Bing, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. Gin Don.
Ow!
Oh, please.
Oh, that's strong.
Are you a sissy?
Yes, I'm a sissy. Boy, my heart burn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt your feelings.
No, there's no my feelings. I'm going to have a heartburn. This seems like one of these drinks where you set it on fire. You get some match and you set it on fire.
We could do that after the show, but I think we should
No.
continue.
What I would like to do is you take some of this Verna, you set it on fire, and you pour it over ice cream.
Yes.
Yes.
Averna.
A Verna. A Verna, there's an A in there?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, Verna.
Averna.
So anyway, we just started this show completely 100% away from the normal way I start a show. We started with the shot. We usually end with the shot.
Well, I didn't want to get a shot,
You might-
so I figured I better mellow them out.
Yeah, we're gonna give her a shot. Laura and I know each other quite some time, and I think we met on the internet. Or no, we met because you came to a show that I was doing a fundraiser for
Service dogs.
service dogs.
Speaking of veterans,
Veterans, yes. Happy Memorial Day, day after Memorial Day. Is it the day after Memorial Day? Tuesday, yes. I hope everybody celebrated Memorial Day not only with hot dogs and hamburgers and all kinds of great stuff that we know about at the barbecue, but honoring the men and women of the armed forces around the world, especially those who gave their lives in the line of fire. Of course, on yesterday we watched all different kinds of shows about war, from Vietnam, World War I, World War II. I mean, it was just all day long. But that's really what Memorial Day is for. However, in this area, Memorial Day is really celebrated because it's the beginning of summer and everybody runs from North Jersey down to the Jersey Shore,
Down
opens
the
up their
shore.
beach house for the
the
weekend.
shore house.
The shore house. And there you go. Then it's a party for 3 months and then it's over.
I wanted to take a little shout out to a veteran that I didn't realize was a Vietnam veteran, and his name is William Champetti, and he's highly decorated, and he's such a nice, humble guy. And he actually, during the pandemic, had me send him some books, and he shared them with nursing homes. The books that I wrote.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
How many? He bought them?
No. I just sent them because I give them to, the people in the nursing homes, the staff, and they read the book, and then they're able to implement the art programs that I used, and I started for Alzheimer's patients.
Right.
But then it expanded into, a lot of different people, children, and what have you.
Well, we're going to get into all this great stuff that Laura does and how she helps thousands of people around the world heal themselves from a lot of different worries that are going on in the world. And we're going to talk all about that. She has her 2 books here. She also has books that she gives me to make me laugh because she knows I like to make people laugh. But sometimes there are some entertainers that go off the beaten path because things don't go their way and they become depressed. So we're going to talk about that. Right now, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the news. Now, we were watching the news when Laura came over, and like I said before, we're both vaccinated. Now, I got vaccinated mostly because I want to travel again. And if you have the vaccination, it's like they gave you a license to get back on a plane, especially if you're going to go overseas or if you're going to get on a cruise ship. And also, I had COVID, and I didn't want to get COVID ever again. However, when I got the shot, I feel like somebody gave me COVID again, because for 2 days, the first shot, 2 days, the second shot, I was sick as shit.
And he had a bad headache.
Yes, I suffer from headaches anyway, so this is really, really bad. So why did you get it, and what was going on?
Well, the only reason I got it was so I could come on the Mike Marino show. Anyway, I got a different shot than Mike did. I believe Mike got the Moderna. I got the Pfizer shot. And that was a 2-shot deal. And I went to the Walgreens. I had an appointment, the whole thing. And my arm was a little sore. That's it. And I
So
never...
you didn't get sick?
No, I didn't.
Isn't that amazing? Some people get unbelievably sick, and some people... What's the big deal?
Yeah, no, it was just like...
So it was in the news that a certain percentage of people are getting the vaccination and the death toll is really, really low, and we're getting back to normal, which is really, really great. And then what happens? Maybe people remember, I guess it was a week ago, 2 weeks ago, the gas problem. They got cyber attacked and they shut down all this gas transaction and stuff like that, and they held it for ransom. And $4.4 million was given to these hackers who held the gas situation as a ransom. They call it a ransom war. And it just happened again now with meatpacking.
It's unbelievable.
Meatpacking distributing. So it kind of makes you wonder, Who's sitting down somewhere going, how can we make millions of dollars by making people suffer? That's pretty much what's going on. How can we make millions of dollars by making other people suffer? And now it's the meatpacking distributors. So they hacked into the system. They set up ransom at billions of dollars. And what happens? They raise the price of meat so that they can make up some money for what they're eventually going to be losing. And they call that a cyber attack. And where are they saying the cyber attack is coming from? Russia. Now, of course, it's probably not, the president of Russia, but it's some crook that lives in Russia. So what do Americans do? We blame Russia. It's everybody. Crazy, right?
That's the go-to country.
Yeah. There's a shortage of butter. Russia. There's a shortage of a foot cream. Damn it, Russia.
No shortage of vodka.
You're right. That is hilarious. Good for you, Laura
All
Brunetti.
right, I got it.
Boom.
I got a credit. I got my credit from Michael.
Damn, that's fucking strong. I just think it's horrible that they're doing that, and I just had to put that out there. We'll take some questions and answers in a little while about that. We had horrible weather here in the state of New Jersey over the Memorial Day weekend. So Friday and Saturday, it rained on everybody. Then, of course, Monday was a pretty nice day.
You're never going to believe it, what I saw on Facebook.
What'd you see on Facebook?
I saw Johnny Salami.
Oh, well, Johnny Salami is...
It's like he was at the Tiki Bar or something.
He's Mr. Tiki Bar. We're not going to be having any sandwiches from Hero
Yeah,
Kings tonight.
I think he's having too much fun.
Yeah, well, he's still down there. It's Tiki
Oh.
Tuesday, so we're not going to have Johnny Salami bringing us sandwiches
But
tonight.
we have other stuff.
Well, we have other food. We have in our world what we call, say it, leftovers.
LOs is what we say.
LOs?
LOs
What's
is
that?
leftovers.
Leftovers. Not everybody wants to say their name. If people still using acronyms, it's driving me out of my mind. It's not LOL. It's laugh out loud. Fucking say it. Anyway, so leftovers, LOs.
Well, that's my friend's mother, Mrs. McKiernan, said when I ran into her in New England.
Oh, yeah?
She said, you used to come over, that was Kathy, my best friend. She used to come over for LOs.
Hello.
Leftovers.
Hello. Hello.
So there's no number 4.
There'll be no number 4 tonight, but that's okay. We love you, Johnny Salami. You're probably at the Tiki Bar,
We love you.
sunburned to death, having a blast, and he won't even write in because he's doubling home on the boardwalk. I miss going down to the beach. I miss walking around on the boardwalk. I miss getting sand in my ass. I miss getting a splinter in my foot. You can't even get a splinter in your foot anymore because the boardwalk
They
is
make
made
it out
of
of
plastic.
plastic.
Right? You remember? Hey, watch this. Remember when you were younger, you got a splinter in your foot. How did you get the splinter out?
I went to my mother.
Nah, come on. You go older. No, how'd your mother get it out?
She used a tweezer.
No, before the tweezer
All
was
right,
in her
I don't-
hand.
We're not on the same page
right.
here.
Your beach badge.
Oh, yeah.
We would take the beach badge, had a little bit of a nail
Pin,
in it,
yeah.
a pin,
Yeah, the pin, yeah.
and you pop that sucker out of your foot. Or you got your friend to do it, and you're like, come on, and it's deep, it's really deep, and you're screaming, ow, ow. Well, what'd you do? You shut up with a nice hot dog in your face. Remember when French fries had tons of salt and ketchup?
Delicious.
Oh, it was the best. And you didn't have to pay a boatload of money. It was like $1, and you got the boat dish
Yes.
with the crinkle cut fries, big fat ones, and a hamburger that was so fat and cooked and grilled and filled with onions. I always liked a nice onion and
And
ketchup.
a Cole's orange sherbet.
Oh, well, a
Unbelievable.
sherbet would be great too, but I always went for the root beer. The root beer on the
root
Jersey
beer.
Shore, baby.
Woo!
Root beer with a lot of ice and the float. Do you remember even after you had your lunch? We're talking young now because my stomach couldn't handle it, but I always liked having vanilla ice cream and they poured root beer on top of it. The root beer float, and you got it where?
On the boardwalk.
On the boardwalk, but not only on the boardwalk, they had Stewart's
Oh,
root
Stewart's,
beer.
yeah. Stewart's.
But then there was the mom and pop shop ones that it was like a Walters. And, you know, he was an old guy in there with a toothpick. What are you having, huh? Hurry up and order. I got kids. So, anyway, we want to talk about Laura's books. Laura has written 2 books. I think if anybody could write a book, you're a genius. I would love to write a book. I wanted to write a book about my life. Laura has been encouraging me to do that. She has the wherewithal to show me how to do that, and eventually we're probably going to make that happen.
Absolutely. Well, you are a writer. You're writing comedy.
I'm a writer. I write comedy, but I can't sit still.
Well, you don't have to. You talk and I take notes.
Oh, all right. Well, we're going to take notes. She's going to take notes, and I'm going to write. But Laura came up with these two particular books because maybe you could go ahead and tell us how that all started.
Well, it started as a result of in my 20s, I suffered from a severe depression and was hospitalized. And in the hospital, occupational therapy was there. And so following my life, I realized that art really was helpful. And I wrote the books because I really wanted to help other people, other families whose parents possibly had Alzheimer's.
Well, let me ask you this before you move too far into your story.
Oh, yeah.
What caused your depression? What was it that made you think at that young age?
I mean, I think it was a combination of things. I wasn't really focused. I didn't know where I was going as far as college. A boyfriend broke up with me, and it was traumatic back then. And
so it's almost like typical stuff that happens in life.
Right.
Like anybody would get depressed. You didn't make the football team. You didn't
Right.
make the cheerleading team. Your boyfriend breaks up with you. But there are people who go through that and then they wing it. It's like, okay, well, whatever. And then there are some people who take that so to heart that they get sick.
Yeah, and actually the way it would come upon me was that I just really couldn't eat well anymore, and I would lose weight.
Did that cause, like, what do they call it when you're too thin, like Karen Carpenter?
Yeah, but I wasn't anorexic. It was like a type of anorexia, but I managed to pack on the pounds when I was well, so but it's a scary thing, and with the pandemic I noticed that a lot more people had it. I actually had this book almost finished when the when the pandemic started, or we realized it started.
So you didn't go after writing a book because of the pandemic. You
No,
were already on it.
No, but the second book I went after because this is how recently how I was actually helped by going to a show that Mike Marino had for the service dog, and I hadn't been going out at night or anything like that for 10, 11 years. And this was like my first social event. My neighbor, Jackie, downstairs, Jackie Katz Berman, she's with Legal Shield.
That's right, but I know Jackie from the radio.
Yeah.
She's a radio personality. Her partner on the radio is...
Oh, God.
Oh,
I forget the
geez.
gentleman's name.
He's a great radio guy. We just can't think of his name right now. It'll come to us when we're done.
Yeah. So anyway, I actually wanted the first book I had my, I'll call him my sidekick, but I also run a veterans program too. So I had Wally, I helped him with art and post-traumatic stress. And he painted a boot and he was like the mascot. But then I wanted to write the second book because I wanted to include things that really helped me. And that was Mike Marino, the laughing. So I started to be almost what you would call a stalker. I looked up all his shows. And I started going. I started taking people. I went to New Jersey PAC. It was unbelievable. I wore my Mike Marino shirt. They thought I was with Mike, and they let me write in. And it was just awesome.
All right, let me back up
Yeah,
with
back
Laura a
up.
little bit.
Yeah,
'Cause
sorry.
you're jumping up a little bit too much. You don't have to go looking through the book. Watch
Okay.
this. Boom.
Yeah. Ask
So
me
a long
questions.
time ago, Laura seemed to be going through some kind of depression. Now, how did your family help you? How did your mother and father? Like, if these books weren't written yet, what did you do to help you?
Okay, at that point, it was my mother. I lived by Fairleigh Dickinson University. I went to a counselor there, and basically, that just nothing was working, and they decided that they should put me in a hospital setting so they could try different medications, and and that's what they did.
So back in the day when you were younger, it was basically a lot of these people thought maybe we should just medicate this person back into some kind of happiness.
Well, the reason for the medication and going into the hospital is a suicide attempt. So usually
That's why you went? Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I was going down, 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 and then yeah, that's why I went. But in retrospect,
Do you have brothers and sisters?
yes, I do.
Now, how many brothers and sisters?
I
do you
have. I'm the oldest, number one child, and my brother John and my sister Paula.
Now, did they have that? Did they have the same depression like you?
No,
Just
they
was
had
you?
some. They had, everybody had little things that happened to them over the course of their life, but no, they nothing like.
Right.
It wasn't. I don't know if it's really inherited or not.
So in your 20s, you're in the hospital. You're not doing so well. But then 30s, 40s, then what?
30s, 40s were good. 2004 was again. I was in a situation. I was in a relationship, we'll just say, and
Well, relationships could wing people into depression. It could also wean people into brokenness when they have absolutely no cash because of what happens. But
Right.
this depression
But
is so much different.
This was different. This was like I never had this before. I started to get like paranoid. I didn't think things were real. I was out there. And Thanksgiving, we all gathered at my brother's house, and they said, she's got to go. She's talking about, just not nonsense. And we went, and they let us in. We went in the back door of the hospital, Rampo Ridge, which is part of the Christian Healthcare Center. And it was the best 3 weeks of my life, or 4 or whatever, till I got out Christmas Eve. But Christmas Eve, I wouldn't eat the food at the party because I thought it was poison. But with the trying of the medication, they finally got me on a medication, and that medication, stirred my eating, but it also made me feel like I was getting better. My husband at the time said to me, I want to take you for Christmas. You like that entertainer in Atlantic City, Casey and the Sunshine Band. I went there, and I didn't want to sit with the people. I'm outgoing usually. And then at the end of the show, I realized it was really him, because we had his birthday party at the racetrack.
Oh, you realized it was your husband you didn't want to sit next to.
Right then I still liked him. Because you know what? I had nobody else. No.
All right, wait. This is a little bit too much information.
Yeah, okay.
So you were going in and out of different types of depression and different types of experiences, unlike what your family had or the average person would have.
Right. And this particular time at this Christian hospital, which it was not, everybody can go there, they really gave me God to lean on. We studied the Our Father, and I just listened. I didn't even talk. I was very quiet.
Right.
And I eventually got the right medication.
So you didn't have religion in your life before that?
I had it, but I didn't know. I just knew how to spout out the answers when the priest asked for confirmation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kind of like when we went to Catholic school.
Yeah,
Okay.
Your sin was, I thought, with my brother and sister.
Yeah, it's over now. Okay, so wow, this is a lot. And now you become an adult, and you see some other people who are going through pain that you're going through or that you used to go through, and you figured, okay, let me help those people, because I met you where I was entertaining to help soldiers get a dog that was trained to be their guide dog.
Yes.
So here I am donating my time as an entertainer to raise money for a company that was raising money so that vets or other people who needed could get a trained dog. And
it was vets, army vets.
And at that event, they actually brought one of the puppies.
Yes.
Who was being trained, because they get trained to be service dogs.
Yes.
From a very, very young age. Or actually,
with
puppies.
The soldier, with that exact soldier.
Right. So we met the soldiers. We met the one puppy. We met an older soldier who had a older guide dog, and so then we became friends. And we were talking about that I have entertainment friends who suffer from depression, especially comedians, because comedians get huge amounts of endorphins while they're performing. But when you're done performing and you go back to being just a regular person, you jones for the endorphins, like a drug. Where's that drug?
Right.
Then you take an entertainer who doesn't do drugs doesn't drink, doesn't party, well, now he's going to look for something to get that high again. And if you can't get that high again, what do? You get depressed, very depressed. And you know what can, and I'm going to say this, you let me know if I'm right. You know what could depress people even more? People who say shit to you like, what the hell are you depressed for? You got the world by the balls. That makes it worse for me. If I'm in a bad mood and somebody says, why are you in a bad mood? Look what you do. I'm like, hey, maybe I'm not happy today.
Right.
Maybe I need you to just shut up and give me an ice cream cone.
Shut the blank up.
Or bring me an Averna. You can curse on my show. Shut the fuck up. It's okay. But Laura figures out a way to help people who are going through that without saying, here's a drug, without saying, go get drunk, without saying, why don't you just go get laid, find yourself a girlfriend, do something different. She finds a way to help people through art. Now, I would never think about something like this because I don't paint. And I think if I was painting, I might get frustrated because I'm going to suck. But Art Serve, and I saw your students, and I saw what you do. I saw her house, and all the art that you create is out of control. You showed pictures.
Yes.
It's absolutely amazing. So I can understand how you can feel better about yourself by doing something constructive, but not only for you, for somebody else who needs it. Because I know when I help somebody, I feel great. I'm like, man, look what I did for that kid. Because you know I do a lot of shows for autistic children.
Yes.
And I help out as much as I can. I go to the hospitals, I entertain the troops, and I feel fantastic when I'm done. So that's kind of like what you do, only you teach people how to paint.
Right, and sometimes it's not necessarily paint. It depends on what I have. If I only have, pieces of palm tree, then we paint and color on that with crayons. It doesn't have to be. It's that it puts you in a zone where you're focusing on creativity. And the other thing is music. Music is very important because when I went to that KC thing, that music triggered something. And then I went to a Chicago concert and I started writing during the concert. I got out a pad. I felt great for this little time. So music is really, really helpful.
Yeah. KC and the Sunshine Band, you could just imagine how that music made you happy, made you want to dance a little bit, made you want to put on roller skates.
Oh, I love roller skates. I used to roller skate on the
It's
side
just to make you want to roller skate, right? And that was a wonderful thing. And okay, so let's go into the book. And I'll take you through because I've read both of these books. They were given to me by Laura, of course. And the first one that she gave me was Art Care Bridge to Hope. And in this book, Art Care Bridge to Hope, she's talking also about this veteran over here behind the mask of mental illness, and he painted a boot. A
combat boot.
A combat boot. Boots on the ground.
Boots on American soil.
He painted a combat boot. I don't know if I'm even describing it right. He didn't paint a boot. He painted the boot.
The boot.
He painted the boot. So I don't know if you could see that, but it's really badass how this veteran, which is a big dude in this picture, makes Laura look like she's 2 feet big.
Well, he's 6'5" and I'm 4'11". So.
He did an unbelievable painting on this boot with metals, bright colors.
Yeah, Purple Heart.
And the Purple Heart. And it made this man feel good and better because he suffers from PSD?
Yeah, PTSD.
PTSD. All right, see, I'm not good with all the acronyms.
But he also paints, and he's an unbelievable watercolor painter, and he actually paints portraits of guys that died for the parents, and he actually paints combat pictures.
Right. So this is the first one that I got, and it's really, really great. It's a great read. At the end, you feel really good about yourself. Laura, she sends me all kinds of little blessings in these cards and stuff like that. They're the bookmarks. And I love all of that, and I thank you for that. And here comes the second book. I don't even think you had your first one out, and you were already writing your second?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Because I tried, and I got a deal. And
she got a book deal.
I got a book deal in the pandemic, and he said, I'll give you 50% off, and I'll bump you up one class. So I did it.
So this one's really, really great. Now, I haven't been through the whole one, but it talks about Alzheimer's patients, and it talks about different things that people suffer and what makes them go through mental illness, which, a lot of people will say things like, what do you know about mental illness? And we say things like, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, a sort of movie. It's so much more intense than that. I have a lot of friends that are comedians that are no longer with us. Somebody mentioned Robin Williams. Okay, that's one. But there's also the ones that weren't as famous as Robin Williams, and some days they didn't take their medication, and they're not around anymore. And when these people get rid of themselves, they do it in some horrific ways. It's the strangest thing. I wonder why they do it like that. But anyway, so here's another one, and this one's called The Caring Canvas. Again, it's about
Palette of hope.
painting and helping yourself get through some crazy.
But there is a section about Mike Marino in the book.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, about you entertaining the troops and how helpful it was to me to see this comedian. I laughed, I cried, and I said, it clicked. I have to keep going. The endomorphs, I needed them, and I got them, and then I related to the Italian, and
I never thought I'd be an inspiration for someone to write a book, but thank you. And now you're the
welcome.
inspiration to be on this crazy show, and here we are talking about this book. And so tell everybody where they can get your books.
let's see. This book, the Mike Marino book, you can Google X-L-I-B-R-I-S, Ex Libris. If you Google my name and put the book name, The Caring Canvas Palette of Hope, or Art Care Bridge to Hope, this is Dorrance Publishing. But if you Google my name, you should be able to find, and when I post tomorrow, I will post both of them.
Right. 'Cause
Again.
we want to support Laura. We want to support her cause, and these are great reads. Laura Brunetti. Look her up on the internet. Google Laura Brunetti and get some of these books.
Yeah, Laura Brunetti, artist. A lot comes up, and then just
Laura also knows that I like the way things used to be. And I collect antiques, and I know some of my friends are watching the show right now. So why don't we talk about some of the other books that Laura gave me? First, we're going to do this one because I filmed this one yesterday.
oh,
Check this out. It's Life Magazine 1942. Life Magazine 1942. If you were around in 1942, it was 10 cents to get this magazine. Nelson Rockefeller is on the front. I did an Uncle Tommy joke with this.
oh, good.
So when you guys, I don't want to blow the joke, but I said that this was Uncle Tommy, and they put the wrong name on the cover. But when you read a magazine like this, if you could find an old one, it's so much fun. It just seems like the old ways were the best ways, about going to the beach, boating, and of course, the glamour masks. Food was frozen for the first time. Places where you could go watch bands, Lucky Strikes, the war. It's just really, really great. So I thank you for giving this to
You're
me.
welcome.
I think anybody, if you can go
Jack Benny is in there.
yeah, oh yeah, it talks about comedians from back in the day,
That's
the
why
Bob Hope tours.
Yes, and you went on the Bob Hope
Yes.
tours, and you entertained the.
Yeah, unfortunately
Troops.
not with Bob Hope, but just like what he did. In fact, if you can see, this is how they used to make all the planes and stuff
Wow.
back in World War II and stuff like that. It's just really amazing. So I thank you so much for giving me this. I mean, this would probably be worth a lot of money if you had Nelson Rockefeller's autograph on it. But she gave me this book and one of the other books that she gave me, and I don't know where she finds it, but it's the Flintstones. The Flintstones. I mean, come on. You could jokes and riddles from the Flintstones. If you smoke a joint and you read this book, you will see how they created the Flintstones. You know what I always thought? The Flintstones was basically the honeymooners. Anyway, but look at this. Bam Bam. Why does Dino cross the road, Pebbles, to get to the other side?
That was an old joke.
Right? How did that come up? It's just Bam Bam came downstairs one morning dressed for school. Betty took one look at him and said, "That's a very strange pair of socks you're wearing. One's red, the other's green." "I know," answered Bam Bam. "I got another pair in the drawer like them." Anyway, whether it's funny or not, it's adorable, and I thank you for giving me that. So those are those books. She brought me a clipboard to shut me up.
How did you know?
I don't think that's funny. Take two.
He's catching on. He's catching on.
I hope my friend Anthony Rena is watching the show tonight, because a couple of weeks ago, me and my dad were wearing these big yellow smiley faces.
Oh,
The
I remember
smiley
that.
face, I think, was 70s, right?
Yeah.
60s or 70s. People would wear shirts that had smiley faces. They had mugs and T-shirts
Yeah,
and
you had the
rocks.
mugs.
Well, this is the other one. This one says, Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse. One of my favorite cartoons growing up, Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse, was hilarious, and I don't know why anybody would have a problem with that. I hope cancel culture don't come out and say, let's get rid of Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse. It's a mouse. It's not real. Relax. But if you remember, there was a bad guy in Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse, and he was a frog. And he used to be like Edward G. Robinson. That's who he was supposed to be. Had the big lips.
Oh, wow.
And he would go, yeah, see, yeah, here comes Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse. Yeah.
I remember that sound.
Wasn't that great? So there's a lot of cartoons out there, and there's a lot of things that could make people smile, which I think something silly like Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse and the Flintstones book could also be something that would help someone going through depression,
Absolutely.
right? And if she agrees, she's an expert, then maybe I'm right. So at this particular moment, we're going to talk just really quickly about some food that we got leftover that we're going to sample on the show, and then we're going to take some questions for Laura. So bring that over here. Now, my neighbor is just turned 80 years old. My neighbor's 80 years old. The name is Donna, and she's a really big fan of the Bill Spadia show, 101.5,
Aw.
9 o'clock in the morning. So she always says to me, that Bill Spadia, he's great. He's famous. That Bill Spadia, he's great. He's so famous. Well, one day I was on the Bill Spadia show because he was my opening act at the NJ
Right,
Pack.
I was there.
At the NJ Pack. So she says, wow, I heard you talking with Bill Spadia. And I says, yeah, we're doing some shows together. She goes, do you think you could give him some of my macaroni salad? And I says, well, okay. So we went to do this big show, and here's Bill Spadia, and I brought him a big bucket of my neighbor Donna's 80 years old macaroni salad. So he made a video, and he said, with me, I love your macaroni salad. It is fantastic. So the next day, he said it on the radio. I want to do a big shout out to Donna Seaman, Mike Marino's neighbor, for making the best macaroni salad ever. And you know what my neighbor says to me? Wow, he's so famous. Can you tell him I think he's great? And I went, do you have any idea who I am?
Oh, you're
She-
the little
she's
boy
like,
next door.
I'm the little boy next door.
You know, she's
Yeah, she's looking at me like I'm the little boy next door.
Right, she
And then
can't.
they didn't put two to two together that I'm an entertainer and I'm on the show because we're working
and
together.
he announced you.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll do anything for my neighbor. She's 80 years old. Her husband's probably 80. And look what we got. Macaroni salad. Now look, I'm big into macaroni salad. When you buy it at a supermarket, sometimes the macaroni salad got too much mayonnaise. Sometimes it don't have enough mayonnaise.
Too sweet
Too
sometimes.
sweet, too this, too that. I don't know what she puts in this. But you know, macaroni salad's supposed to be a side dish. Now in my house, this is the main course. So now you taste it and you let me know what you think.
Okay. Wow.
It's good, isn't it?
No, I
You
really
don't
love
lie.
it. No,
You can tell the truth. You like it?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell. I would tell the truth.
Would you? Could you imagine?
No,
Ah!
No, but you know what it is? I really did like it.
really, really
Thank
good.
God, because you probably would know if I didn't like it.
Yeah, she could be watching. Oh, that's insane good. We'll be right back after this commercial break. That's really good, right?
Excellent.
Now, what I normally don't like at a barbecue is fruit salad. I think if you're at a barbecue, you should eat just the hardcore foods. Hot dogs, hamburgers,
Corn.
corn. I wouldn't think corn.
No, but
Potato salad,
Potato salad.
ribs.
Ribs.
Ribs. But every once in a while, you got that person in the corner eating fruit. Sometimes they got the fruit drip. The drip, the chocolate.
Oh, drip. It sounds like a STD.
So, again with the acronyms, good for you, Laura Brunetti. So here is some fruit. Now, I really only like watermelon. Here is cantaloupe, the other melon, and pineapple. If you pour vodka on this, it's a party. There's no vodka on this.
Keep away from the Averna.
We're going to put the Averna on this. So what would be your fruit of choice?
Right now it's
Melon.
It's cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe. The other one, the green one's a honeydew, right?
Yeah.
I like honeydew, but if you get to the edge too close, something's not right. You know what I mean? It's like eating the crust. Good though. No?
It's okay.
Anyway,
I think they bought it too early.
we also had Italian snacks. I don't think Italian snacks belong at a barbecue. Sorry. You don't bring macaroni or lasagna to a barbecue.
I'd eat it though.
I would like to have it. My mother would go to a barbecue with trays of lasagna. Ma, you want a rib? No, but I got lasagna.
Oh.
So anyway, here's one of the snacks that was brought to the show. So I want to do a shout out to the person who brought this snack and her album. If you guys were watching the show this past Sunday night, the Not So Late Show with my friend comedian Scott Friedman, this album was given to me by Jenna Esposito, and I hope you had seen the show. She blew the room away, and I have the album. And not only did she give me the album, she brought a nice Italian snack, which was these cookies. Now, I'm not going to have one of these cookies because it dries your mouth out. You can't eat these cookies. This is the type of cookie that your grandmother gave you. You went, thanks, Grandma. So if you want to try one, you can, but it's really, really dry, and I don't think it's going to go with a glass of milk or a cup of coffee. But a nice big shout out to my friend Jenna Esposito, and if you're looking for some great music, you can look her up on the internet at jennaesposito.com. She was absolutely fantastic, and I was going to give this album to Laura because she loves music.
Thank you so much.
So I have some books. She got some music. I want to do a nice big shout out to an event that anybody could go and be part of on the internet. I like to raise money for charitable organizations, and I like to entertain fundraisers for wonderful things. Laura eventually will be doing another fundraiser for the people with special needs and people living with depression. So I will be part of that, and I'll donate my time, and if you guys want to come, you can. Right now, this town, Scotch Plains Unico, which is an Italian organization, is having an Italian virtual trivia night. An Italian virtual trivia night. Could you imagine the arguments from a bunch of Italian people who are not in the same room? Imagine that. You could be like, I never fucking like this guy. So Friday, June 11th from 7:30 to 8:30, it's only an hour. Go to my website, mikemarino.net. You can find out more about it. Or go to Scotch Plains Fanwood Unico, and you can play. You can have some fun. You can make some donations, and you can play Italian trivia. What would be a good Italian trivia? So right now, why don't we take in some questions from my guest, Laura Brunetti. Ask away, everybody. Be careful. You might get shut down. Let's see. So I'm reading some questions. My mother used to bring eggplant parmesan to a barbecue. That's hysterical. That's Anthony Rena, and Anthony Rena is the one who gave me this shirt.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, Anthony. I love when you watch the show. I love your support, and I love you and your friends, and I love all my fans and friends. So, any questions for either me or Laura? Like I said, we could find Laura on the internet, Laura Brunetti. Google her. Go get her books. You're not going to be disappointed, I promise you. And you'll enjoy them. Maybe you know somebody who's going through something that could use a little bit of help. Right?
Absolutely.
So what do we got here? Good evening, Mike and guests. Thank you, Debbie. Debbie is a doctor, and she's going to be on one of the shows in the future. She is I don't want to say psychoanalyst, therapist. Maybe she's a therapist. Too bad you didn't come down to the basement tonight and meet Laura, because she has 2 books about therapy. Really?
Yeah, art care.
Art
right.
care. All right, here comes a question. I just want to say that Laura is wonderful, and I give her so much credit for talking about her struggles with depression. And that write-in is coming from Gina Marie, who is in Long Island, New York, and we appreciate that. Gina, thank you so
Gina.
much. If you have a question for Laura, now would be a good time to ask it. There's Eddie Sessa, who was on the show last Tuesday night, a great singer. We had a lot of fun with his songs on the show, and I was doing the backup vocals. That made me happy.
Oh,
Let's see if we can't get a question here. Mike from Big John, Sonny was funny at the show. When I went to 2016, you were funny at the show. Mike from Big John. All right, Big John, thank you very much. I have absolutely no idea exactly what they meant. She's a psychotherapist, not a doctor. Okay, well, there you go. So everybody who's watching right now, Debbie Leone, or Deb Leone, is not a doctor. She's a psychotherapist. I am not a comedian. I'm fucking funny. You can laugh. Don't hold it in. Anthony's listening from New Jersey. Thank you very much. We're taking questions. There's another great friend of mine, Cal Schwartz, who writes for a lot of New Jersey magazines, is watching this show. That's right, you know Cal Schwartz. Cal, we'd love to have you come back on the show.
yes.
Before the pandemic, when we were doing the podcast, we'd have like 20, 30 people down here in the basement, mingling and chatting and talking and exchanging phone numbers. And maybe we're close to making that happen again. So thank you so much, Cal. If you have a question for Laura, this is Laura that you met when we were doing a show. He did a big story on, maybe you could do a story on your books. Cal wrote a book too. It's upstairs. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Deb Leone, master's level, not doctorate. Yeah, okay, well, we're taking questions,
Okay.
doctor. In my neighborhood in Brooklyn, growing up, did you have bread stores? We had 2 kinds of bread in the neighborhood, American bread and Italian bread. Did you have the same in your neighborhood? Bobby Genovese asked that question, and here's my answer. You could answer too. I was born in Jersey City, New Jersey. I lived there till I was about 10 years old before I moved out here to the suburbs. So the bread came in a truck, the bread truck. We had the bread truck, the sharpen the knife truck, the watermelon truck, and a lot of the Ajax truck, the cleaning truck. Everything came in a truck. Mostly Italian people. That's when they said things fell off the truck. But yes, we had Italian bread, and we had what we called the white bread. We had Italian bread all the time. Once in a while, my mother would buy white bread. It was called Wonder White Bread.
Yes.
And she would put meatballs on it. And when you bit into it, the meatball fell on the floor. So
Yeah, it was
so Italian bread. Tell Laura I'd be happy to donate my time for her fundraiser as well. Well, there you go, Laura
Oh,
Brunetti.
thank you so much.
That's the singer who was on the show last week, Eddie Sessa.
Thank
Looks like
you,
we're going
Eddie.
to have some
And
song and comedy.
Cal said he's ready too.
All right, Cal, thank you so much. This is wonderful news. I may have missed this, but what was Laura's work with patients with Alzheimer's?
In short, I volunteered at a nursing home, and before volunteering, I asked the director, "Can I bring in my art? Can I have them paint?" And she said, "I don't think they will." And had them make. I told them they were making butterflies. Some of them I helped. Some of them didn't need it. Long story short, the next week I came back. The staff was so excited they hung the art, and my friend's mother, who was nonverbal in a wheelchair, wheeled over her piece, as well as the other people. They related to that. They birthed that, and so I feel that way with my art too. So it's really helpful to go through life. And no, you don't have to be. I never went to art school or any of that. I went to school for business, and I went to school for, I went to community college for behavioral science.
That's fantastic. I remember when I was a kid, I colored outside the lines. I wasn't really that good, but I do remember painting does make you feel good, especially when you create something. And here comes some more questions. Well, this is a statement coming from Pammy Pam, Springard Mayor. Laura, thank you for discussing your depression. You are brave and wonderful for helping others. That's true. She also says, thank you, Mike, as always, for your comedy. It keeps my chin up. Well, thank you for saying that, Pammy Pam. I'm glad you keep your chin up. Keep your chin up, because if you don't, somebody will knock you down.
That's right.
Especially in the crazy world. Oh, yes, she's got this teddy bear that we got to talk about.
No, this is...
I called it a teddy bear.
This is called, this is a friend of mine, and this is called Huggable Horrible. Horrible Huggable. And it's it's something that you can hug. You can actually hug. And she suffered too, and she wants to make these to eradicate the stigma of mental illness. And perfect timing. She had them ready for the pandemic. I had mine fly in. No, she lives in Palisades, New York. She's local. And I love it. And if anybody's interested, her name is Lizzie Mayer. She is the most incredible cartoon artist. You name it, she can draw it. And she's very creative. But I didn't tell her, and I don't think she's going to be mad.
Show the panties.
But I put Mike Marino's underwear on these. They're not his underwear. He sells them, okay? He sells underwear. And he told me the first day I met him that he was willing to sign my underwear. And I didn't know how that was going to work.
Ah.
Oh, she made a spill. The Averna. It's not a tragedy. Anyway, so Mike is going to sign my underwear tonight. On the back it says...
There's a pair of underwear on this horrible huggable.
Yes.
Yes. It's a beautiful, horrible huggable. You could see how a lot of people enjoy putting their arms around this.
Yeah.
Huggable little thing. Let's take in some more questions about your huggable. I use music and speech therapy with my clients. Oh, that's right. Gina Marie is a speech therapist.
Yes.
In Long Island. And also adults who have communication disorders related by stroke. Oh,
I worked with
sad.
a patient in a brain trauma hospital, and I did work with the speech, and I found it incredible. And I didn't realize that the two sides of the brain, the singing is a different side of the brain, and she sang before she spoke, and I kept track of her words. But I'd love to talk to you sometime, because I just did it with my gut feeling. She was going to the therapist, but I wanted extra so she could be able to talk more.
Right. Well, listen, someone just said that horrible huggable reminds her of Gossamer from Bugs Bunny. Now, I knew there was a monster on Bugs Bunny.
Oh,
and yes,
yeah.
it looks like the monster
yes,
from
except
Bugs
his
Bunny.
hair is a little more,
Permanent.
a little more.
But I never knew there was a name of that monster. Gossamer? That's a good trivia.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting ready to get going, but before we leave this broadcast, we do have to end with a smile and make everybody happy. So one more time, would you tell everybody where they can find you on the internet?
They can find me, they can email me on Brunetti, LA at AOL. BRUNETTILA at AOL.com. I also have a Facebook, The Caring Canvas.
Caring Canvas. That's a cool
Okay.
name.
And there's another one too that says camps, hospitals, and nursing homes. Prior to pandemic, I would go to the nursing homes. I'd bring an Elvis impersonator, and I'm going to be able to do that again, hopefully. And I have an Elvis impersonator named Scott Brandt. He's a terrific musician.
Well, if you want to come see some comedy, and you know that Laura's going to be in the audience hanging out, just go to MikeMarino.net. The world has opened up. This week I'm going to the Silver Legacy Casino in Reno, Nevada. I'll be at the Laugh Factory. The following week I'll be at the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles. I'll be at the Laugh Factory in Long Beach, California. I come back to New Jersey to do a few more shows. Then on June 22 through July 3rd, I have 12 shows that I'm doing in Dubai. That's right. I'm flying 15 hours on a plane to go to Dubai. When I come back, we have plenty of shows in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Florida in July and August. So I hope you guys will join us for some fun and some laugh. If you think you could be a guest on my show, it's not always about being funny. I like talking to many different people who have a lot of different situations going on in the world, especially people who help. All you have to do is write to our producer. Her name is Tatiana Bluchel. She takes in all the emails. So all you have to do is write to Mike Marino Entertainment at gmail.com. Tell us why you think you should be on this show, and we will make that happen. That's Mike Marino Entertainment at gmail.com. Spell out the whole thing. We have a lot of different sponsors. They're all listed on the website. And we're going to end with this. A lot of people program in directions in their navigation system in their phone. This is Laura's directions to my house. How old school is that? This is how she knew. What'd you do?
I didn't want to make a mistake.
You didn't want to make any mistakes because the phone could send you to somebody else's house.
That's right. Tatiana, thank you. It was a pleasure working with you.
We had a lot of fun, everybody. We got to get going. Stay happy. Stay funny. Stay in the game. Let's make America Italian again. Remember, you don't know nothing, you don't see nothing, you don't say nothing. And how do I end every single one of my broadcasts? By always saying the same thing. Don't take no shit from nobody.
Oh my God, I'm sweating.
Hey, would you just go get a paper towel over there on the right?
Yes, I will.
Or do I have one back here, maybe?
No, I can go.
Oh, here it is. Here it is.
Well, at least it wasn't a total tragedy. This,
No, everything
spilling.
is great. We just want to get rid of that because it
Yeah,
stains
sticky.
the.
The marble.
Yeah, it stains the marble.
Okay.
Wipe that all off, please.
Yeah.
Here you go. It's weird
That
how
was
it stains
nice.
the
We
marble.
got some people to offer their services.
Hey folks, I hope you're enjoying watching my podcast live from my mother's basement. We're having a lot of fun and I'm going to have a lot of great guests on the show in the future. So if you like it, hit like. You could also leave a comment. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch other funny videos. And you could also listen to my podcast on your favorite podcast app like Spotify and iTunes.